Hi, curious minds. Did you know that the most recognizable predator on the planet almost never hunts alone? Another one lives in a city with 20 million people, and they don't even know it? And one more crushes crocodile skulls with a single bite? Today we'll break down the big cats. Let's go. Lion. The lion is the only big cat on this list that lives in a group. All the others are loners. That alone makes it the odd one out among big cats. Visually, it's hard to confuse a male with anyone else. Around 200 kilograms, about a meter tall at the shoulder, and the mane, which no other big cat has. But more about that mane later, because it's not at all what it seems. In the pride, the main workload falls on the lionesses. During hunts, they coordinate the group, assigning roles. This isn't instinct, it's a skill passed from mother to daughter and sharpened for years. The male usually joins only for large prey, buffalo, giraffes, where his mass is needed. The rest of the time, he sleeps up to 20 hours a day. Can you imagine? 20 hours! That's no longer laziness, it's a lifestyle. A good leader, as we know, rests while others work. The lion figured that out long before corporate training existed. Without him, however, the system becomes vulnerable. Foreign males enter the territory, kill cubs, scatter the group. A lion's roar can be heard up to 8 kilometers away, and most conflicts end at the roar itself. It never reaches contact. This, by the way, is the highest form of negotiation. Roar loudly enough, and you don't need to fight. Now about the mane. People used to think it was for intimidation or neck armor, but researchers tested it and found out the mane is a billboard. Females choose by color. The darker it is, the higher the testosterone and the better the health. They tested it experimentally. They placed mannequins with different mane colors, and females consistently approached the darker ones. So female lions literally choose partners by hair color? No Tinder bios. No, I love traveling and cozy nights. Just a dark mane and you're in. The lion built a system and lives inside it. The only one on this list to pull that off. Tiger. The tiger is the complete opposite of the lion. The largest cat on the planet and an absolute loner. No pride, no allies. Alone on a territory spanning hundreds of square kilometers, patrolling and defending it entirely on its own. Several females' territories may overlap, but not a competitor's. Not a single meter. The Amur tiger weighs up to 250 kilograms. That's roughly 2 sumo wrestlers in one body, only with predator reflexes. With that much weight, you'd expect it to be slow, but not even close. Hunting is based not on chasing, but on stealthy approach. For hours it moves against the wind, silently, crouched low, until it's one leap away. And then the prey has nowhere to go. It's hard to imagine how a creature weighing a quarter ton moves silently, but here's how it works. The tiger shifts its weight onto the paw pads and literally rolls from step to step. No sound at all. 250 kilograms of silence. Tigers have been recorded crossing rivers several kilometers wide. Most cats avoid water. A tiger crosses a river simply because it wants to get to the other side. That's a level of motivation I deeply lack. Although one of the next ones on our list will seriously outperform him in water, but more on that later. And here's a detail few people know. Tiger stripes are unique, like human fingerprints. There are no two individuals with the same pattern. Scientists identify specific tigers from camera traps exactly this way. And the most interesting part? The stripes aren't only on the fur, they're on the skin. Shave a tiger, hypothetically speaking, and the pattern stays. I specifically wrote hypothetically speaking because obviously nobody's going to do that. But if you somehow do, let me know in the comments how it went. The tiger chose a path where there's nobody to share prey, territory, or risk with. If injured, sick, or unsuccessful, no help is coming. A classic freelancer. Everything works as long as he works himself. Leopard. If the tiger is extreme specialization, then the leopard is versatility. The widest range of all big cats. Jungles, savannas, mountain foothills, dense forests. Where others need specific conditions, the leopard only needs one thing: cover. It eats almost everything, from mice to antelopes weighing close to 100 kilograms. No principles, no preferences. That's its strength. It hunts through camouflage and patience. The spotted coat breaks up its silhouette in any environment. Foliage, grass, rocks, camouflage for every season. The leopard doesn't chase prey for kilometers. It gets close unnoticed and attacks from just a few steps away. It simply waits for the prey to come close on its own. A leopard can stay still long enough for the prey to practically walk right up to it. After a successful hunt, it drags the prey into a tree, sometimes an animal 1.5 times heavier than itself. Imagine dragging a refrigerator up a tree with your teeth. Why? Because otherwise someone will steal it. Up there, the refrigerator is safe. The method works, and here's what's interesting. Leopards live much closer to humans than people think. In Mumbai, 20 million residents, leopards have officially been recorded right inside city districts, hunting mostly stray dogs at night. 20 million people nearby, and it simply lives among them, eats their dogs, and pretends it doesn't exist. Doesn't start conflicts, doesn't attract attention, found an open niche and quietly operates in it. Honestly, that sounds like the perfect neighbor. Doesn't make noise, doesn't park in your spot. The only downside? Sometimes it may eat you. But that's a minor detail. While other cats require ideal conditions, the leopard works with whatever exists. That's why it's everywhere. Speaking of adaptation, by the end, there'll be a cat that lives where it's hard for a human to even stay for long. But first, the one that crushes skulls with its bite. Jaguar. The jaguar is often confused with the leopard, but it's noticeably bulkier and stockier. Short, powerful legs, wide head, dense body. Jaguar spots are rosettes with a dot inside. Leopard rosettes are empty. Remember that. Useful for knowing exactly who's staring at you from the bushes. The jaguar is neither the largest nor the fastest on this list, but in one category, it surpasses everyone: bite force. At a weight of 60 to 100 kilograms, about the size of a human, its bite is many times stronger than ours. What does that mean in practice? We'd be able to crunch hard bones like crackers. The jaguar, instead of suffocating prey like most cats, cracks turtle shells and caiman skulls with one bite. Why don't the teeth break? Wide and short fangs distribute pressure like a metal punch, concentrating force into one point. Imagine, you're a caiman, you're in the river, you're at the top of the food chain, and suddenly a cat jumps on you from above and simply punches through your skull. That's not hunting, that's an insult. Now, about water, here's that advantage over the tiger. The jaguar willingly enters rivers, dives, hunts fish, turtles, capybaras, those same caimans. For it, water isn't a border but additional territory. In the Amazon basin, the jaguar sits at the top of the food chain, both on land and in water simultaneously. Where other predators see limits, the jaguar sees opportunity. Snow leopard. The jaguar is metaphorically on top, but the snow leopard literally lives at high altitude, where many animals simply can't breathe. And that's not a metaphor. Its main range is from 3,000 to 5,500 meters above sea level. At 3,500 meters, a human without acclimatization begins to suffer altitude sickness. Dizziness, difficulty breathing, legs stop cooperating. The snow leopard hunts at this altitude. It chases mountain goats and Argali sheep across slopes, leaps between ledges up to 9 meters apart, where one wrong step is several reels of falling. So how doesn't it fall? Partly because of the tail. It's almost as long as the body itself, and works like a balancing pole. Sharp turns, narrow ledges, jumps. The tail constantly corrects the center of gravity. Turns out, tail length matters up here. And in severe cold, the leopard wraps its tail around its face like a scarf. This may be the only predator on the planet that looks simultaneously deadly and like its mom bundled it up before school. It attacks from above downward using terrain, takes a position higher than the prey, then throws itself downhill. Where the prey loses footing, the herbis feels at home. And why they call it the ghost, that's a separate story. Camera traps recorded tracks, scent marks on rocks, prey remains for years, but not the leopard itself. Its fur works so perfectly against gray, snowy cliffs that dedicated expeditions returned without a single image. It literally blends into the mountain. And one last thing, the snow leopard cannot roar, anatomically incapable. It's almost always silent, quiet, invisible, high above where few can reach. Stay quiet, appear rarely, do your job, and everyone calls you a ghost. Not a bad career strategy. Most predators rely on strength or speed. The snow leopard chose something else. It became part of a place where surviving is already an achievement. Clouded leopard. You probably expected cheetahs, pumas, or lynxes in this video. Logical, they're large and famous. But biologically, they are not big cats. Meanwhile, the clouded leopard, weighing from 11 to 23 kilograms, is. This isn't a classification mistake. Evolution once went completely off script, and the result became more interesting than planned. Here's what it looks like. Gray-beige background, large dark spots with blurry edges, like someone was painting clouds and got distracted halfway through. Hence the name. It lives in dense tropical forests of Southeast Asia, from the Himalayas to Borneo, one of the least studied big cats. In the wild, it has been seen only a handful of times, which already says a lot about its personality. But here's what makes it truly strange. The clouded leopard's fangs are proportionally the longest of any living cat, larger relative to its skull than a tiger's. Scientists call it the modern saber-toothed cat, and that's not poetic exaggeration. Why such teeth on such a small body? Most likely evolutionary inheritance. The ancestors were larger and hunted larger prey. The body shrank, the fangs remained. Nature didn't bother removing what works, even if from the outside it looks absurdly excessive. Imagine a creature weighing as much as an average dog, with fangs larger than a tiger's, living in trees and jumping onto your head. Small, fangy, above you. Good luck. That's exactly how it hunts, from above. Muntjacs, wild pigs, monkeys. It takes position on a branch and drops down onto prey. And here it has an ability no other big cat has, descending trees head first like a squirrel. The hind legs rotate unusually at the joint, giving total control on vertical surfaces. Imagine descending a sheer wall head first, while also hunting. That's basically an insult to physics. Prey often doesn't even understand where the strike came from, because nobody expects danger from above. With saber-toothed tiger fangs and squirrel habits. The clouded leopard is a reminder that nature never read our textbooks, and judging by the results, that was the correct choice. 6 cats, and not one chose the same path. The lion delegated, the tiger went solo, the leopard adapted to everything it found, the jaguar entered the water, the snow leopard climbed where there were no competitors, and the clouded leopard rewrote the rules directly on the trees. Which strategy feels closest to you? Write in the comments. See you soon. There's still more to tell.